All right, this is going to be a quick one. I got the engine torn down to basically a long block right now. I I was going to record stuff, but getting to this point right here is really simple. There aren't really many tricks on this that that you should really need to be aware of. Everything comes apart really nice. One thing I did notice is right here, these are held in by two brackets that have 5mm Allen heads on them. These come through the valve cover and they're sealed there. Those brackets, they seem like they should come off, but for some reason, it was giving me a little bit of a fight. So took those brackets off. That was the only thing here. The valve cover was glued on there, but this is some really nice Permatex, whatever they use. It holds it on there really nice, and there's not a ton of residue on anything, So this valve cover, this is the side where it has the bore scoring on it. You can see even, it's kind of hard to tell now, but it's this cylinder right here, number 4. That's the worst one. I'm looking forward to, you can even see oil on number 6. Yeah, there you see a lot of it. There was a puddle of oil under here earlier. But yeah, so this, yeah, so it's not rocket science. This thing is not rocket science up until this point. There is one thing though that maybe I didn't watch all the correct videos, or maybe I missed a part. This right here, this guy right here, this is the oil pump and water manifold. That guy, do not take that off. Don't take it off. I was an idiot and I took it off, and I didn't have the tensioners out. So immediately I heard that thing shift like pretty bad. And the thing that happened was, from what I can tell, is that this thing, that is that is the intermediate shaft right there where that hex key comes through. I did not know this. Like I said, maybe I missed it when they explained that in a video. Well, that thing with the chain tensioners on it, it basically, that shaft went sideways in there. Went on the forums and found that someone, I saw the hex key, and then I was like, well, it's an Allen. I measured it with, a set of calipers, and it's an 8mm. So what I did was, just trying to clean up the mess, I took this 8mm Allen. So if you do this, you can take that hex key right there. That seems like it comes out with the gear, but I stuck it back in there so I wouldn't lose it. I'll see if I can get it out. Hold on. All right, we got tools now. All right, so there's your hex key. So yeah, that is the guy right there that drives your oil pump gear off of the intermediate shaft. This housing, it has a seal, and the intermediate shaft basically interfaces into this thing. Oh man, it's really hard to see. It basically interfaces into that thing. So if you do this, just stick this in there See? And basically what I did was I had already, like, as you can see, all the bolts are out of this thing. And I pulled the, I I was going to install this water manifold, had to pull the oil pump section apart on it, which I didn't really want to do. However, learn something. Hold this oil manifold out past the studs. And this Allen doesn't look like it's long enough, but it is. And you can even get longer ones. And basically what I did was because of the tension, even when I took the tensioners out, it was still very stiff to move. So what I did was I basically keyed this in there and moved it. You could just move it by hand. And basically I just gently set this water manifold back on. And I didn't force anything. I basically just guided it on and just, move this intermediate shaft around until it splined in. And then the water manifold went right on like it was supposed to. So that right there is the reason, so far, nothing else has been too crazy on this thing. It really is not difficult at this point. To get to this point, it's very, very simple. So the main thing, I have a very good memory normally. But with things that I have not done before, I always go overboard. And just the way my brain works, it's, if I write down things as I'm going along, write it down or bag things with the labels written down, I will never forget it. So I have Ziploc bags and everything, and have just laid all of the hardware with the parts that have come off of the engine. So that has made it a little bit easier. Yeah, so when this whole debacle went down, you could see that the timing jumped on this bank. It's not enough to where I'm not super worried about it. But I don't know if I should be. But what I am going to try to do is, let's figure out this guy right here. This is the one that shifted on me. So I think what I can do is put the timing tool in here, loosen the cam gear, back it off to where the timing tool at the back of the motor lines up. So I don't think that, nothing happened. I've seen engines come way further off of time and they're okay. So this one isn't bad, but yeah, as you can see, these solenoids, and then they just kind of pop in there. But yeah, it's really nice taking apart a clean engine. This thing had, walnut shells and shit in there. The person that had it before kind of lived up in a wooded area. Luckily, the car doesn't have any rat damage, but yeah, I just ran the shop back over it. Need to do it a little bit more. The engine is very, very nice and clean, so it's going to be a pretty easy setup. I have a pretty nasty industrial parts washer at my shop, so I can take individual components over there and clean them if need be. So that's kind of nice, to have that. But yeah, that's kind of why I just took everything apart. So from here on, this stuff right here, this is where I'm going to pay more attention to it, because I feel like with the amount of tools this thing takes, this is where I think it can become make or break for DIY people like myself. I think that this is where it can get a little bit intimidating. I'm not going to lie. There is some stuff on here where I'm just looking at it like, oh man, this does look a little bit complicated, but it's honestly, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's just an engine. So it can, a person put it together and a person can put it back together. So this is interesting, watching all the videos. That guy is where that is where the real exciting part happens, you know, putting the wrist pins in on that bank. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to tearing into this, and hopefully I can. I don't have the timing tools right now, but I'm gonna wait probably until I get everything and before I mess with anything else, because I just don't feel like breaking this thing and over something stupid and being impatient. So yeah, that's it. It's a nice looking engine. Everything looks really clean on the inside. I didn't see anything else weird. I didn't break anything else. Other than, you know, that whole thing I was mentioning there. Just, you know, be careful with that kind of stuff. I'm hoping that some more DIY people get into these things and don't get too scared of it. But yeah, the next video will be pulling the cylinder heads and the block apart, and that I will videotape. Okay, that's it.